Hey guys, I wanted to film an updated garden tour as we're kind of coming into the end of summer. It's very sunny, so I hope you can see what I'll be showing you through all of the shadows and glare. So I'll try and film it in the same order as I did the last one so you can compare. I'll link the last one here on a card and you can go and check the tour that I filmed in spring, kind of mid-spring I think it was. Following the same order, we'll start with this bed over here. And you can see how well it has filled in. I've got some poppies and marigolds, calendula, campanula, which isn't currently flowering, pyrethrum is flowering, jess, purple passion, dahlias, my first carnation is finally flowering, more dahlias, alyssum, and there's the tiny hydrangea that I mentioned before. None of the watermelons have grown. Look, exactly the same size as it was in spring, so they just didn't take. This area is looking a little bit different. The left hand side is looking the same, but as you can see, the right hand side has been taken over by pumpkins. This is our pumpkin patch. 12 of the pumpkin vines survived, and you'd think we'd have loads and loads of pumpkins, but we do not, because almost all of them have died from blossom end rot. As you can see, we do have one there. We have a couple of big ones hiding, but I don't think we are going to have a huge glut of pumpkins. Weeds, watermelons that didn't grow. Bit of a change here. No, I haven't tackled the rocks yet, but we tackled the hedges. That was a huge job that Grant and my dad did. It took them 3 days and they trimmed them down, and obviously you can see they still need neatening up, but there's a lot more light down this end of the garden now. No other changes here. My hydrangeas are being swamped by these pumpkins. They did really well actually. I was really proud of my hydrangeas this year. And the pumpkin is even climbing up the hedge, smothering my weigela. Okay, so going back to this bed, one end is doing well, one end not so much, because I haven't really given this end any attention. But I did put in some forget-me-nots, which are not flowering. Well, not yet anyway. Violets, the impatience has come back to life. I put that in last year. More forget-me-nots that aren't flowering. Dwarf cosmos, violet. This is called a Branera Jack Frost, something like that. Anyway, this has flowered for months now. It's just beautiful. It's grown quite a lot. I put a dicentra in there. This is a white bleeding heart that hasn't flowered this year, but I think it will next year. Well, I hope so. Pansies, more forget-me-nots. My hosta is looking worse for wear. It's done well over the summer, but I think it's getting ready to go back to sleep for winter. And this dahlia that I put in last year came back to life. Bit of alyssum there as well. So this has done really well. It's filled in nicely. And next year I'll put even more in. In fact, I've got some coleus to plant out that I might just pop in there. So we'll turn around and go this way now. So if you recall from my last video, this was looking pretty bare and is now looking amazing. I'm super proud of my little cottage garden. So there's the garage, there's the guest house, and this is all filled in beautifully. I've planted some salvia that I bought, but everything else was grown from seed, and I'm so super proud of myself. So we have white alyssum, pansies, dwarf zinnias, this one's hiding away, calendula, dwarf cosmos, that one hasn't flowered yet, marigold, that one hasn't flowered yet. This is a teddy bear sunflower that's going to flower soon. The lavender's done really well. I've had to prune it back twice. The Virginia creepers are doing well up the poles. On this side, this alyssum's already gone to seed. That did really well. Pyrethrum. I think this is a teddy bear sunflower that's just stayed little. This is a gift from my friend Gay, and he's my little friend. More carnations that haven't flowered. Zinnias, teddy bear sunflower that's going to flower. Ditto. Poppies. Cosmos. Dwarf cosmos. More of the same. This is my scabiosa that was there from last year. Pansies, dahlias, zinnias, they're just beautiful. This oreganum has been flowering for a while as well. marigolds. The back there, that's echinacea, so that will be really tall next year, but not this year. This poppy's had it, and this hydrangea is about to flower. So next year, as this hydrangea gets bigger, I'll have to pull some of these out, but most of these are perennials and will hopefully come back again next year. This bed I call the half moon bed because it's shaped like that. I have to give all my beds names so I know what I'm doing where, and I can keep a record of things. This is mainly full of, well, we've got marigolds around the front. These ones went in later, they haven't flowered yet. Lots of calendula, which is now in bloom, and lots of carnations, which haven't flowered yet. That is an Escalonia apple blossom bush. This hydrangea is absolutely stunning. I'm so proud of it. Look how beautiful that is. And that is a Pyrrhus. So they're doing well. Some foxgloves from seed. Most of this is from seed. I'm super proud of it. This looks so pretty. I love it. I'm not a mad fan of orange and yellow, but I had the seeds. Someone gave them to me, so I tried them and I do quite like this, but I'm looking forward to my carnations blooming, bringing some more color in there. This is new. Oh, hello. My greenhouse is finished. Well, mostly finished. I still need to put doors on it and I need to complete the floor. As you can see, I kind of started laying a log slice floor and then ran out of log slices. That will be a separate video when it is finished. I'm going to film a greenhouse tour, but that's how it's looking, kind of next to the deck, and have an old pair of boots there with carnations planted in them. And then this little bed with a couple of sunflowers, poppies, calendula, and some peas on this little trellis I quickly whipped together when my peas needed planting out. Okay, looking this way is also looking a bit different now. These are the potatoes. They're about ready to harvest. I don't think we got any this year, but controversial, but we will see. These trees were hard pruned last year. We didn't get any apples off them this year, but that's fine. I've got some Photinia that I need to plant out along there, but I'll get back to this area in a minute. Let's take you straight to the berry cage. So in front of the berry cage, I have been growing my tomatoes up strings, and that has really worked well. It keeps them really neat and tidy, and they produce well. So we've been getting loads of tomatoes, mainly the cherry tomatoes, the little yellow ones like this. The bigger ones are taking a while to ripen because we've had such a bad summer. It's just been so cold and rainy all summer. Another change you can see is the privacy panel there, and we've painted the fence. The strawberries did not do very well this year. Well, they did in terms of foliage and runners, but that is all they want to do. You can see runners everywhere. That's all it wants to do, more than make berries. So we haven't had very many berries from them, and I'm going to pull these all out and put new ones in next year. Over there we have a volunteer pumpkin that just came up on its own. I didn't plant it. There used to be pumpkins here before we moved in, so I guess it was a leftover seed. And then all along the back I've grown peas so that they could use the chicken wire as trellis. We didn't have a cold enough winter, I think. Well, I think that's why the blueberries haven't really been ripening, but 3 blueberry bushes and not very many berries off them. I think we've had like 3 berries off them. And then on the back wall I've been growing sweet peas on the outside, but they come through to the inside as well. So this is all going to change next year. I've also found that that is too deep, so I'm going to move the little boardwalk and then have a bed on either side of it, and then the blueberry bushes this side. But that is how the berry cage is looking. Like I said, all this is going to be pulled out. I'm going to give it to somebody who wants it. I'm not just throwing them away. And this is how the raised beds are looking. I am so super proud of these, and we have been harvesting loads of vegetables. Like, our grocery bill has gone way down. So here's the back corner. It's all been cleared, and we need to plant those Photinia, the hedging there that's going to grow and cover this garage. And we have painted, or I have painted, the back fence and gate 1 coat, and it needs a 2nd coat. So here we have some chives, spinach, more tomatoes, marigolds, and then these are radishes that have gone to seed. So they've been flowering like crazy, and they're making loads and loads of seed pods. So when they're ready, I'll be able to harvest the seeds. You can see. Okay, this was also installed because the previous fence that was there is only this high, so we have a bit more privacy there, and I painted that as well. And this is how it looks from this angle. So I'll take you through the raised beds and show you what I'm busy growing at the moment. But I also wanted to show you how big this daisy bush has grown. It's really done well. There's the other one that I pruned right back. It's coming back. And has some cosmos, sage, and I think that's all. A bunch of weeds. These hedges were also trimmed, so now the cabbage tree stands up proud of them and it looks really good. So in the beds I have a couple of cauliflowers growing. You can see the head is forming. Weeds, beetroot, another cauliflower, 2 zucchini plants. So they are producing loads of beautiful zucchinis for us. There's the photinia to plant out. Oh, I guess the other ones were the camellias that I'm going to plant on the back fence. More cauliflower. This one kind of went past its best, so I've left that one to hopefully go to seed if it doesn't get eaten by caterpillars. Another cauliflower forming in there. Here we have a couple of lettuces, some dill, some weeds, some corn. These are leeks that have just started coming up, that have been growing from seed. And then on the other end here we have salad leaves that, as you can see, I haven't been harvesting fast enough. Corn, we had so much wind they just got blown over, but they still seem to be doing well. The little cobs are forming. A couple of lettuces. I don't even know what that is. A butternut. Yeah, there's a little butternut forming in there. More corn, more corn, more corn, and a couple of peppers. These are Hungarian yellow chili peppers. I've never grown chilies before. These are apparently mild and sweet. So I don't quite know when to harvest them. They're supposed to be yellow, but this one's been there for ages. Maybe I'll try harvest it and see what Grant thinks of it. I don't really eat chili, but he wanted it. Behind here I've got more beetroot, and these are broccoli flowers that I've just kind of let go to seed as well. We've already harvested a few of those. Here we have another zucchini plant, some tiny baby carrots. They didn't really do well. It's the only ones that have come up. Beetroot, I've been pulling beetroot out of here, that's why it's bare. Dwarf beans, which are the yellow butter beans. Let's see if I can see one. I've just harvested today. Anyway, they're yellow and purple. Carrots, beetroot, carrots, dwarf beans. Lettuces, we have cos lettuce and butter crunch. The butter crunch is all bolting. They're going to go to seed, make flowers. This oxalis is impossible to get rid of. It's awful, and now they're all going to seed as well, and we don't want that to seed. I have some basil in here. I've harvested once from the basil and made pesto, but for some reason they're really tough and kind of, yeah, they're not really tender and delicious. So I don't know what happened to the basil. And then some more dwarf beans in that little gap. And then this entire bed is butternut. You can see they're forming. They also haven't been doing too well. Again, with the blossom end rot, I need to boost the calcium in my soil. There are a couple of cucumbers. They did not do well. I put them out when it was too cold. They just got a bad start and they've sulked the whole summer. Let me see. They have formed occasionally tiny little cucumbers. You can see there, like tiny, but that's as big as they get, and we just haven't had any cucumbers. So yeah, the butternuts are making lots, but they don't seem to be lasting. We'll see. Okay, this side of the greenhouse, I've got some swan plants that I grew from seed, and the monarch butterfly. This is milkweed. It's the only thing that monarch butterfly caterpillars can eat, and the caterpillars actually found them inside the greenhouse and laid their eggs. So we have some little baby caterpillars. So hopefully I'll be able to film some butterflies emerging in time. So yeah, that's not Photinia, that's camellias, pink and white camellias that I'm going to plant along the back there. So coming back this way, I am so super proud of this. I call the courtyard garden. So let me just back up. Do you remember how it looked before? I'll insert a picture here because you just have to see how much it's grown over the summer. What a difference. I have, oh, we have some aluminium flashing tape apparently. This is Chrysanthemum Merry Mix. I have calendula, loads of alyssum, blackjack pansies. Look how beautiful these black pansies are. They're so striking. Got some teddy bear sunflowers that are about to emerge. Pansies. In there more calendula, pansies, dahlias, carnations that haven't bloomed yet. Dwarf cosmos. I've got some echinacea that will be big next year, and forget-me-nots that haven't bloomed yet. Beautiful foxgloves. They did really well, but they blew over in the wind, but they seem to be coming back again. And what else is there? Poppies, pansies. Yeah, so proud of this beautiful cottage garden, and it makes such a nice view from the guest house windows. There's the main living bedroom area and the kitchen bathroom. And then this bench, I don't know why, but everybody asks me, can I sit on it? Is it stable? Yeah, I dug these holes, and what you see above the ground, there's twice as much below the ground. That was a lot of hard work. But yeah, my little bench. The heat pump unit's going to be moved there. So this is looking from the bench. There are little stepping stones here that I still need to stain, but some of them are overgrown. And this is how the raised beds look from this angle. What a difference, hey? This one is also tomatoes. I put spinach in there. There's some marigolds. And this tomato is my superhero because it just doesn't want to stop growing. Nothing much has changed here except for the hedges being trimmed down. This peach tree did not produce any fruit this year. Still in shock from the hard pruning. That is going to become my greenhouse door. There's actually another one behind it, so they need to be installed, and nothing else has been changed here. This all needs to be cleared and planted up. So I'll go back this way. There's the potatoes, and I wanted to show you that I've made some changes in, I call this the sightline bed because it's directly opposite the windows, so that's what we see when we look out. And I did clear and plant, but I ran out of mulch, so there's quite a lot of weeds going on in there. But I've got some alyssum, dwarf stock. This was all from seed. So pretty. Another dahlia. I bought that fern to put in, and the geranium. This is, well, this is a weed. This is a, what is it called? Lamium. So that puts out little white flowers. That's really cute. I did put this little brick path in, and my dad has begun building me a bench, but I need to finish it. He didn't get to finish it before he had to leave. So the bench is going to go there. Got a violet. This is all dwarf stock there and weeds. And another fern. I've got a fuchsia that I rescued that was like $1 at the warehouse because it was not doing so well, but it's doing fine there, except that it's smothered in weeds. Hydrangea, another hydrangea that's even bloomed, even though it's so super tiny. I really need to come and weed and mulch back here. This should not be growing here. That is hollyhocks that will come up next year. That's a lavender lace bush that I put in. And as you can see, I painted the fence, tidied up the trees, and just ignore the barbecues. I made that fence. I had a bit of help with it, but most of it I did myself. Thank you very much. I am going to paint it the same color as the fence, but I ran out of paint. So that kind of creates a little bit of screening for all the crap back there. So I've got a pile of soil. I've got useful trash, as I call it. So like these are the hazel sticks. I'll show you the hazel trees that I trimmed in a minute. Loads of stuff that can be used for projects. Bins that I'm going to start a compost system, and in the meantime this is the compost system. I'm just dumping everything here, which is not good. But anyway, that is the hazel trellis I started making, and the more I worked on it, the more I realized it was just going to be super heavy, so I'm probably going to cut it shorter and like just use that panel somewhere. So this shed, I have plans to make a bed all around here and kind of on the front, hopefully grow something to grow up the side of it, but I haven't decided what, because this is pretty much in shade the whole time. Here are the hazel trees that I pruned heavily because they'd pretty much never been done. So hopefully we'll get hazelnuts, if not this year, then next autumn. I also pulled out a huge, like, half-dead bush over there. The only other thing that's changed here is I used up all the mulch and Grant made this lean-to, and that's where the trailer is. Noah's bikes are being stored there because the little lean-to that had his bikes previously is full of wood that has also fallen down. My dad spent so much time pulling apart pallets, so we've got loads of usable wood for projects. And then if you come around here, the back of Grant's trailer lean-to is wood storage. Coming back this way, I did a little bit of work on this back garden. Not a lot, well, not a lot of area, but maybe half of it. And most of this has to come out. So I've got sunflowers growing there so we can see it from the house, which is really nice. But this is where the camellia hedging is going to go. In the meantime, I've got sunflowers, I have some dwarf cosmos, and in the front I've got chamomile and pastel carpet alyssum. And these are all strawberry runners because, like I said, the strawberries just want to make more strawberry plants. So I thought I'd stick them in here to cover the ground, which, I don't know, this is all going to change. We're coming up to the end of summer, so I'm not really going to do much more here this year. Some more swan plants. I had to plant them out, they were just getting too big for their pots. Weeds, and the ginormous pile of dead branches from all of the hedge trimming, as you can see there, that we now have to run through the wood chipper to make mulch. This mandarin is not doing well. We fertilized it. I actually suspect Grant might have given it too much. So I'm going to have to read up how to baby along a mandarin tree. These apple trees have produced, well, this one didn't, but these two have, and they're a decent size. And I don't think we have the same problems with codling moth that we did last year. I think some of them do, but some of them don't. But when I say good size, they're huge. So we're really chuffed with that. We're just waiting for them to ripen now. There's the pear tree that came back to life. That needs pruning and tidying up, but we obviously can't get to it because it ended up in the middle of this massive pile, which is actually taller than I am. Okay, coming around, oh yeah, I'll show you this bit. This just had a couple of sleepers dumped on top of the stones, if you remember from the last video, and I tidied it up. I situated the sleepers on concrete things like bricks, you can kind of see them underneath there, and fastened the sleepers together, so that's a stable step. It is straight, the patio slants for water runoff. And then I've planted forget-me-nots that haven't bloomed yet, dwarf cosmos, alyssum pansies, and then alyssum pastel carpet along the front, because we just step over that gap anyway. That's my poinsettia that Jess gave me at Christmas time. It doesn't stay red, it won't stay red, but apparently they make nice plants, so we'll see how that does. More pansies, more forget-me-nots, and this cosmos is doing quite nicely. And that's as far as we got. Still have to do all of this junk, and I think that is all. Yeah, still got lots of clearing to do, dead branches and things from the hedge trimming. This is what's left of the iron. Grant's used all of the other iron sheets to put up fences, so that's what's left. And that's where the stones go to die. Still need to tackle this, as I mentioned. And we are right back to where we started. So next year I'm going to be tackling this area. I'm going to be putting loads of flowers in there and more roses here, possibly taking out the daphnes, they're getting a bit big, and then putting a bed in front of the roses as well. But I've got plenty to get on with in the meantime. So I hope you enjoyed the garden tour, Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.